Good morning, and welcome to my podcast. I want to continue with my study on Psalm 23. I will continue to look at Psalm 23, verse 2, which we looked at before. Let me read out the verse. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. Last week, I said I struggled with the fact that God was making us do something. He made us lie down in green pastures. But yet, God is a God, He's a God who knocks on our door of our heart, waiting for us. And yet, God is one who's actually knocking. He's taking the initiative. And today, I want to start to look at something different. You know, the imagery here is not just beautiful, it's awe-inspiring. We, the Lord's sheep, are brought to green pastures. If we delve into the Old Testament Hebrew, we see a picture of young, tender grass available for the sheep. Succulent grass full of goodness for the animals. The imagery is captured beautifully in Ezekiel, where he says that the Lord will tend them in good pasture and that the mountain heights of Israel will be their grazing land. They will lie down in good grazing land, and there they will feed in rich pasture on the mountains of Israel. The pasture is good and rich, and this is the God that we worship. Let's take just a glimpse of the geography of Israel, and you will see that the mountains of Israel are rugged and bare. The mountains are lifeless in the summer and nothing can survive. But when the mountain rains come, we see a completely different a completely different picture. The rains come, the grass seeds lying dormant in the ground, and when the rains come, the grass sprouts forth. Just days later, the mountains are transformed. Far from being a dry, lifeless, barren landscape, we now see a land carpeted by a lush grass capable of sustaining the wildlife on the mountains. And it is here on the mountains that the Lord will feed his flock with good, rich feeds. The difference between summer and winter is stark. And so it is with Elijah, as I have said before. During the reign of Ahab, there was a drought for 3.5 years. There was no rain for 3.5 years. The winter rains failed, yet God still provided. The rains failed for 3.5 years, yet God still provided. God told Elijah to go to the Kerith ravine, where there was a plentiful supply of water, and God, would you believe it, would send birds to provide Elijah with meat. That is truly miraculous. Even during a drought, God provided for Elijah. And again, as I said before, however, as the drought became more severe, the ravine dried up. What was Elijah to do? God told him to leave his country, his home country, and travel to a foreign country. God told Elijah to go to the town of Zarephath on the other side of the land. Not only that, but in this town, God said that he would meet up with a woman. And no sooner had he reached the outskirts of the town that he met this woman, a widow looking after her son. What would you believe it? She was busy picking up some branches to make a fire, to make some bread, which would be her last meal. So Zarephath was suffering from this drought, and she was about to make her last meal. And so this man, Elijah, a complete stranger went up and asked the woman to make him a small loaf first. Let me get that straight. Elijah asked the woman to make him, a complete stranger, a small loaf first, and then herself and her son. That's remarkable in itself. You didn't have to be in a drought or famine season. Elijah asking a complete stranger to make him a small loaf first before she looks after herself and her son is remarkable. What is remarkable is that the woman obeyed Elijah and she made him some bread first. God honored the woman and her family, and the family survived the drought. God made sure that the flour and oil never ran out. I want to repeat that. God honored the woman and her family, and she survived the drought. God made sure that the flour and oil jars never ran out. Isn't that remarkable? In the same ways, Jesus fed the crowds. At one time he fed 4,000, and on another time he fed 5,000. The Bible is clear that they were women and children on top of the 5,000 men. So we understand that Jesus may have fed around, say, 20,000 people. He fed the crowds with what was available. He fed 4,000 people with 7 loaves and a few small fish. And he fed up to around 20,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. This is my Jesus. This is my Jesus who feeds the crowds, who does miracles. He's the God who provides. The book of Revelation provides another picture of God's provision in another way. Here in the UK, we have a single harvest time in autumn, or the fall, as we say in America. In the Old Testament, we know that there were 3 harvests: the barley harvest, the wheat harvest, and the fruit harvest. However, in the book of Revelation, the tree of life provides a monthly harvest. There are 12 harvests. This is the abundance of provision from God, and that should make us feel secure in his care. In the Old Testament, there are 3 harvests. In the book of Revelation, the tree of life provides fruit monthly. There are 12 harvests. This is the abundance of provision from God that makes us feel secure in his care. I'm sorry I'm repeating myself lots of time, but I just see this as remarkable. And this is my God. This is my Jehovah Jireh. He is fantastic, isn't he? We have seen the quantity of God's provision, the abundance of his provision, but there's also a quality of God's provision. You see, there was an embarrassing moment when Jesus and his family were invited to a wedding. The wine had been drunk and there was nothing left for the guests. Mary, Jesus' mother, turned to Jesus and told him to sort it out. In turn, Jesus told the servants to fill jars with water, not wine. He told them to fill jars with water. And when the water was given to the host, Jesus turned the water into wine. And the wine was the best. The quality of wine, God's abundance, should make us feel truly blessed. The host had never tasted such good wine. And so lastly, the word pasture indicates not only a meadow, but a place of abode. It's a place of habitation. The sheep were kept safe from predators because it was not only there for them to stay safe, but the shepherds also stayed there. The sheep were kept safe from predators because the shepherds stayed. They didn't go back home. And that is why the gospel writer could say that the shepherds were living in the fields nearby when the baby Jesus was born. They lived in the fields. You know, they may have had a home where their wife and family lived, but the shepherds were in the field for the long term. So the sheep were safe because the shepherds were always out looking after the sheep. And the great thing about my Jesus is that he calls himself the good shepherd because he is with us. We are his flock, and he is with us all the time. He is there with us all the time. We might not feel that. We might feel all alone. We might feel that the world is against us and times are tough and we feel alone. But the truth is that God is with us. God is with us. And we might be like the sheep when that we go astray. And we do go astray. And Jesus is here to bring us back to himself. And so today, don't feel that you're alone because you're not. God is with us. He wants to intervene in your life. He wants us to lead us down his path. He wants to take us to good pastures. He wants to take us to a safe field, nurturing us and feeding us. And is that your God? Is that the God that you know? I pray that he will. And if he's not, then pray to God that he might reveal himself as the good shepherd. Okay, well, God bless you. Take care. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.